Hi, my name is Erica, and I'm here with
Felix.
Felix. And today we're going to be asking you, Felix, what do you think about the supernatural?
I think it is possible that supernatural things exist, just because there's like so much to the world we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So like, who's to say certain things don't exist on another plane of existence? It's just there's so much we don't know.
Have you ever had a supernatural encounter?
Honestly, I have not, sadly.
So when you talk about the supernatural, are you thinking in terms of like God or some type of like omniscient being, or what are you thinking about when you say, I think it could exist?
Honestly, sort of all of that. God, a higher power of any sorts, ghosts, things like telekinesis, telepathy. So,
Have you ever like experienced any of that yourself?
again, no, sadly, but I do have some friends who have had some honestly pretty serious experiences, which is insane to me. So,
Do you want to share? Is there like one that sticks out in your head that you would share with us?
it would have to be my friend Mika. They had this dog, and it was a really old dog, and it eventually passed away, And a few days after it passed, they swear to like everything, like that dog came back. There was like the dog on the floor. They went to go get like a midnight snack, and the dog was just there eating out of his bowl.
Wow. That's crazy. I feel like I would be super freaked out if I saw
They
that.
were freaking the fuck out.
That would definitely scare me. So do you think, like, as far as human beings, like as far as us people wise, if you were to think of us supernaturally, do you think that, we can come back like how the dog did? Or like, do you think that then when we die, is there something supernatural that we enter into, or like it's just over?
Personally, I think that for us it's just kind of over, for most of us at least. Again, I think there is the capacity for somebody to come back on like some other plane of existence or whatever. But ultimately I think like most of us, it's just nothing.
Do you think that with that, kind of perception that for us, when we die, everything is just over, do you feel like it gives hope and meaning to your life at all, or kind of takes it away? Or then what is like our purpose, of being here?
Well, I think everybody's like purpose in life can only be determined by them, and like our death does give our life meaning, because like we can't do things that we can in life that like in death, If you're dead, you can't do things. So it's like you've got to enjoy your life while you're living it,
Yeah.
So,
what about as far as like the world's creation, the earth's creation? Do you think that had some type of a supernatural beginning?
I think it's possible that it could have, because like again, there's so little that we know. Like we only have theories about the Big Bang, but like I've actually debated this with my mom too. Like, who's to say that a Big Bang didn't occur, and like it happened and it created God, or like God made the Big Bang happen and that was Him creating the universe? Like, who fucking knows,
Mm-hmm.
So, I think until there's some way that we can like scientifically just be like, yes, this happened and we can prove it, I think all kinds of sort of things are possible.
So do you think that if God made the Big Bang happen, right, like, and the way that I see it is like we can't get something from nothing, and we don't get order from chaos. Like if you go and you like detonate a bomb somewhere, it's just chaos in that place, but somehow whatever happened that created the earth created something that is super orderly. And even like us as human beings, it created us in such a way that like we're like so magnificent. If we even just think about like all the intricate things that are in our eyes that allow us to see, or all the intricate things that are in our brain that allow us to think, it almost forces you to have to say there has to be some type of higher being in order for life as it is to function in this way. What do you think of that?
I would have to respectfully disagree that like just because we exist the way that we do doesn't mean that there had to be some sort of creator. Obviously it's like hell of a chance that this all happened and everything fell into place, but I think that is still a possibility. Because like, a lot of people bring up like, oh well, God has like such perfect design, but then when you actually look at a lot of the designs, or his designs, there's tons of flaws within them, and that's fine. That's life. So,
Yeah. Would you what would you be willing to share with us, like what some of those flaws are?
well, I would argue things like menstrual cycles would be one of those flaws because we lose a lot of energy in our blood with it, and there are lots of animals who don't experience periods. Us humans, we have pretty bad backs. Our knees are pretty easy to destroy, so things like that.
I have a question for you. If you saw a painting or if you saw this building, would you say that there had to be a builder behind it, or there had to be an artist behind the painting, or something that created it that way, the way that it looks?
For us, yes, but that is because, it's man-made. So, like, there just has to, for us, because that's just how this plane of existence works right now. Mm-hmm. So,
Do you think that like human beings are even more intricately made than a building or a painting?
obviously, yes, to a certain extent. So, but I also feel that that is not quite the same. Like, those two things can't really be completely compared because one has to do with non-living material while another one has to do with living material. So those things interact with their environment completely differently.
Okay, cool. And then just one more question. When we're talking about like the supernatural, a lot of people think of it in terms of like, heaven and hell and the things that we do on this earth. There's some type of like retribution. If God does exist, he would have to punish like bad people and reward good people. Like certainly there's no way people like Hitler can just get away with things like the Holocaust, or not even Hitler, but say for instance people who are like, there's people who are in the deepest depths of darkness in the world that we won't even know. Like, it will never come out, the terrible things that they've done.
Oh, trust me, some horrible people.
So, like, to think, okay, there has to be, if there is a supernatural being, is he just? And if he is just, what does that justice look like for humanity?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
It was kind of a long question. Yeah, it basically just more in terms of like, if there is a supernatural being, like how you're saying, like, okay, you know what, we can't really rule out that there is no supernatural being. If there is a supernatural being, do you think that there's justice or, justice, because justice includes, reward and punishment for humanity for the things that we've done on this earth?
I think that if there is a higher power, obviously it's not like totally just, because otherwise things like Hitler wouldn't happen. Because like, if they were fully just, they would want to stop like all suffering. And if they were like fully omnipotent, they would stop all that suffering. But I feel like the universe just kind of has its own balance like that between like good and bad. So I feel like there could be some sort of justice from some higher power, but it's not always a guarantee. So.
Would it be okay if I shared a supernatural encounter that I've had?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the supernatural encounter that I had happened about like 4.5 years ago. I was in my living room of my apartment by myself, and at that point in my life, it really was kind of like a low point. I was going through a lot of depression. I was going through a lot of anxiety attacks, panic attacks. There were times where like I literally could not sleep at night because they were so bad, or I would stand up and feel like I was going to pass out. Like I remember texting a friend, like telling her, I think I might have to go to the hospital. And she's like, no, you're just having like a panic attack. It's okay. Like she sent me these like breath things. Just do these breaths and like, and you will be okay. Like, and you won't have to worry about it. But it was like this recurring thing, sometimes it felt like it was so hard just to get out of bed. And to be honest, like I did feel hopeless because I had attained of all of these worldly things. I had a really great job. I had, graduated college. I had, the car. I had moved to the big city. I was living in DC. And like from the outward perspective, I was getting all of this like praise from my family and stuff. But it's like, but they didn't see all those other things that were going on inside, like all of the distress, all the worry, all of that. And I had tried everything that I could think of to try to fix it. I had run to everything that, society and culture tells us will make you happy and will fix all those problems that you have inside. But they were still there, they were still there. And I remember I would call my sister like bawling, crying, and she's like, Erica, you have to do something. Like, you have to, like, do something with your life to try to help yourself get out of this. And it was really, honestly, like, in a moment of desperation where I realized, like, I didn't have the power to help anything anymore. I had done everything under my control, that I just yelled in my living room and I said, God, you can have everything. I don't care. You can have my whole life. Just help me. And from that moment on, I can say that my life has been completely changed in a way that is so supernatural that it's beyond what a human being would ever be able to do. God has given me joy when I didn't have any joy. He's taken away that depression that I had where I couldn't even get out of bed. He's given me hope when I felt hopeless. He gave me identity when I felt like I didn't even know who I was, and he gave me self-worth when I felt worthless, and he gave me purpose in life when I felt like, life was purposeless, even though I was doing all these things that people tell us to do, that, oh, if you do this, like, you'll leave your stamp on the world, and things of that nature. And yeah, it was really just a supernatural encounter that I feel like has completely changed my life 180, that I pray and hope that other people also will be able to have that encounter, kind of what you're talking about, where you're like, you know what, I can't rule out that there's not, like, a supernatural being that's somewhere out there.
I just can't.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything to logically or scientifically prove that they aren't there, so it's like I'm still going to debate that. So.
And this is a promise that God makes, is that if you seek him, and you seek him with all of your heart, you will find him. And sometimes when we're asking those questions, that's us seeking, of saying there has to be something greater than myself. There has to be something greater than what I can see, So yeah, I just believe that as you continue to do that, as you continue to ask those questions, as you continue to debate that, God will show himself real to you, just the same as he did for me and for my friends as well.
Respectfully, I'm very glad that you have had that's such a 180 experience. I'm glad that religion was the problem solver that you needed it to be, and that it gave you hope. I love it when religion does that, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to give people hope and, like, another purpose in their life and help guide them in, like, the right moral direction. But just like how not all depression treatments are a one-size-fits-all, religion is also not a one-size-fits-all, I feel. So
that's okay. I can respect that. This is what I'll say about Christianity that makes it different from every other religion that there is that Christianity is the only religion that says that salvation comes by grace through faith, that it's a free gift to you, that it's nothing that you can work for. You can't be perfect enough. You can't be good enough. You can't, like, dress a certain way and look a certain way and, like, all of these things. Like, it's the only religion you can compare it to, like Buddhism or Islam or any other, like, school of thought. Even atheism is a religion, because, like, it's a school of thought, of how you perceive the world. It's your worldview. But Christianity is the only one that says that God's salvation, his love for us, is free. Every other one says you have to work and you have to be a good person and you have to do more good things than you do bad things. But the reality is, all of us fall short. Every single one of us. I fall short, you fall short, they fall short. All of us have missed the mark. And so that's why I think that, like, Christianity offers a different hope that sometimes other religions don't. And sometimes it is, like, explained in a wrong way, where like it
There's
does
always those bad religious people.
But as the saying goes, like, chew up the meat and spit out the bones, of where, like, there is still truth that lies there, of where God is saying that he's looking for a relationship with you and with me and with all of us, because he created each and every one of us with purpose and intention, to where he said, Felix, in the Bible it says that he knew you before you were even born, that he knew you before he even knit you in your mother's womb, and he knows every thought and intention of your heart, that he knows every single hair on top of your head. Like, he knows us to such a great extent that we literally cannot even comprehend it. And even in that, he knows every mistake that we'll ever make. Yet, he loves us so much that he poured out his love for us, that he sent Jesus to come and die and atone for all of the wrongs that we have made, so that we can be in right relationship with God and, spend eternity with heaven, with him. And, again, I just, at least for me, when I think about every other religion, I can't get past the fact that Christianity is the only one that says that it's a free gift. Like, it's free. You can't work for it. You can't be perfect enough for it. Like, could I ask just what you think about that?
I mean, I think that's a really nice sentiment, though obviously it's not echoed a lot within, like, the walls of the church and whatnot. So, like, I do think that the Bible has some really great stories, really great sentiments, really great meanings behind it. And quite a few of the, like, moral teachings I definitely agree with. I just can't find myself searching for a relationship with God because I've already been pushed down that path before. And then even when I did explore it on my own, out of my own choice, it just was not the right path for me. Again, it's just not the one-size-fit-all sorts of things. And, like, if God does exist and he does love me, thank you. But I'm just going to keep trying to do what's best for me and enjoy my life and do good for the world and do good for those around me. And, just try not to be a bad person just because I don't want to hurt people.
Yeah. Hi guys, this is Erica here. Just wanted to recap how the conversation went with Felix. I think it was a really, really great conversation. Me personally, I love it when I speak with people who are bold and honest enough to disagree with the gospel and the things that I'm sharing with them, because it shows that they're genuinely thinking and they're genuinely considering what it is that you have to say, and it opens the door for God to speak even more into their lives and to try to help give us wisdom and words of knowledge to help suffice some of those questions that they may have had. I think the one greatest takeaway that I have from that conversation is that I was able to speak God's promises to Felix and to tell her, that she does have, God does have good plans and purposes for her, and that she is uniquely and wonderfully made, and that Christianity is the only religion that is, you're saved by grace through faith and not of works. And I think that's something that I hope and I pray that she will think about. And we didn't record this, but at the end I asked her if I could pray for her, and she said yes. And after I was finished praying and we blessed her, she actually thanked us, me and my friends, our team, for being so kind and being open with her. And perhaps she may have had negative experiences in the past with Christians who maybe didn't exactly show the love of Christ. So it was just a good reminder that the Bible says that Jesus did not come to condemn the world, because the world is condemned already, but he came to set the captives free and to give hope to the poor. And so I feel like we were able to do that.